Welcome to the Desert Lair Bar, episode 13. I'm Dustin. This is a series of first impressions, so I'm trying a malt whiskey from every actively producing Scottish distillery that has an available standard bottling of single malt. Preferably their flagship whiskey with a little bit of flexibility in there. The point of this is to establish a baseline of distillery character with a heavy emphasis on price to performance to help me determine which distilleries I want to explore more and which ones maybe I don't. I don't want price to performance to be the be all end all of how I approach a spirit, but it is pretty important, so something we need to discuss. To help facilitate this, I've started a spreadsheet, link in the description. There's a primary sorting by score, high to low, and a secondary scoring by low to high. Today, we're trying Mortlach 12-year-old. This one's owned by Diageo. Diageo is a giant multinational alcoholic beverage company. I've went over all their different brands before. There's a considerable number of them, right? Diageo is one of the biggest. I won't go over all those again. This one is 43.4% alcohol by volume. It is chill filtered. It is artificially colored, unfortunately. This one is bourbon and sherry casks. I bought this in December of 2024. This one is a 750 milliliter bottle. Just confirm that it is. I paid $76 for this, which means that my 50 milliliter pour here is about $5.07. Locally, I can still find this for about $76. Online, it's a little more expensive. For the 700 milliliter, I can find it for about $78, which would, up converted to a 750 milliliter bottle, be about $84. So a little bit more expensive online. I do want to talk about the packaging on this one. So this bottle is a pretty neat looking bottle. At one point, Diageo, I think, tried to rebrand this. So they got smaller bottles, non-age statement whiskey, and tried to charge more for them. As you can imagine, it did not go over very well. So I think they've repackaged these. The box actually has some decent information on it. In terms of marketing blurb, this one's not too bad. So, Mortlach is known as the Beast of Dufftown. 2.81 times distilled. So what they say here, utilizing a fiendishly complex distillation process unlike any other. 3 wash stills and 3 spirit stills, each unique in shape and size. Distill, cut, and distill again, precisely 2.81 times to create the distinctive, rich, and bold character of Mortlach, the way. They have a picture here, which you almost certainly will not be able to see on this packaging because I have the camera very far away. It's just a picture of their very complex distillation process here, all 6 of these stills in kind of the flow of the spirit here. It's an interesting picture. It's kind of neat. I actually like the packaging on this. On the back here, it says, since 1896, Mortlach whiskeys have been uniquely 2.81 times distilled. Our spirit crisscrosses between 6 copper pot stills of differing silhouettes, 0.81 more times than is Scotch standard. It is an exact science, graced with a touch of magic from the wee witchy, the smallest of our stills. Since it was first forged more than 120 years ago, we have fastidiously ensured every dent and detail remains unchanged because it is within this copper chamber that specific richness which has earned Mortlach the reputation as the Beast of Dufftown is created. So there's something interesting with this. They talk about how they keep all these copper stills exactly the same. So that's pretty important to a lot of distilleries or most distilleries as a whole to keep the shape, size, and configuration of their stills exactly the same, because if they change anything, they run the risk of changing the character of their spirit. And if you make good spirit and you rely on the character of that spirit, then you want to make sure it stays the same. So it is interesting that they point that out here. I do like that. They have their own smell and taste notes here. This one is bourbon and sherry casks. Their notes here, they say, taste, rich, fruity, and vibrant with hints of umami, light spice, dark chocolate, and cherries, leading to a smooth yet dry finish. Do also, like they say, add water or ice to reveal the true Mortlach character. Aesthetically, I like ice. I have never liked ice in any whiskey. It just, it ruins it for me. Water, we definitely do water. In these kind of lower strength whiskeys, they don't do the water, but I do like how they mention that you should try their whiskey with water, because you should. So get into my smell and tasting notes here. Smell. I immediately get a metallic note on this, and some orange jam, and then figs. Taste. That metallic note carries over into the taste, and then again that jammy orange, fig, cinnamon, honey, oak spice. There's a slight sinewy note to this, so that Mortlach is known for like a meatiness. To me, it comes across as sinewy, kind of that the meaty character of this. It's slight, it's not overpowering, but it's definitely there on the finish. More spice, cinnamon, ginger, some almonds, dried fruit, and a little bit of that sinewy note again. So that sinewy note, that meaty note, likely comes from a combination of their distillation and the worm tubs. So Mortlach, even though they don't mention it on here, uses worm tub condensers. And those worm tub condensers, you don't have as much interaction with the copper, and so you don't end up with quite as refined of a spirit. So more of the impurities get through, right? Generally, that can lead to having a more oily, heavier spirit, so you get a better mouthfeel out of it. However, the more times that you distill something, usually the lighter the spirit is, so there's kind of an offset there. In any event, the meatiness is probably a bit of sulfur note, which generally would be considered an off note, but it works in this whiskey, and there are a couple others with the good kind of sulfur, and this is one of them. Score for this one, 82 out of 100. We'll go ahead and throw up our spreadsheet here. This one, it has a good balance. There's a strong sherry influence to it, but it's not a sherry bomb. This is not an especially impressive presentation, but there are some things going on kind of in the background with that metallic note, that meatiness, that kind of make it feel like this could be worth pursuing in other presentations of this whiskey. So is this one anything special? Maybe not, but at least with Mortlach, I do feel like there's an underlying character to the distillate that is interesting and maybe actually worth pursuing. The price to performance spreadsheet, this one's not going to look real impressive overall, but it is one that we will probably take a look at in other bottlings later on down the road. That's all I have for this one. Drink responsibly, don't drink and drive. Use the rideshare apps, don't be a dick. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time.